Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are tuned in to the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast, and I am your host, Dawn Dai, here to get you excited about your life so that you can live life on purpose and for a purpose. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Vitamin D, it's a pun of my name. My name is Dawn, and you get vitamin D from the sun, so I'm here to shed light into your life. And I do this with inspirational insights and conversations with celebrities and everyday people like you and me. Because if you want to be better and you want to do better, then you're going to have to be able to see better. So join me on this journey of living our best lives and understanding and realizing how you are your greatest asset.
Check this out. In January, I declared that my word for this year is abundance. See, I'm seeking exceedingly and abundantly, far more than what I could ever imagine for my life. See, that's what I think dreams are made of. That's what I think purpose is made of. And it's so interesting that when you aren't seeking a life of abundance, it seems as though that we're residing in a place of lack. And when I think of lack, I think of fear. When I think of lack, I think of insecurity. When I think of lack, I think of stress. And I say that because when there is lack, you're trying to hold on to something. When there is lack, you're trying to stand still. See, when there is abundantly, just like a car, abundant with gas is going to move. Maybe when you don't have enough gas in your tank, you're not bound to go as far. And even when we talk about having abundance in faith and what we want and what we're seeking for our life, sometimes I think that we are afraid, more apprehensive to move forward or to seek more because you think right now at this moment is going to be as good as it gets. So that we get comfortable. But see, when you come from a mindset where you're seeking exceedingly and abundantly, far more than what you could ever imagine, you know that if you got to this point, there's more to come. You actually have something to strive for, something to seek in your hands, your grasp, to hold onto your grip, something to keep you pushing. Now, it said clearly in Ephesians 3:20, if you are a Christian or if you follow the word, now all glory to God who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly, far more than what you could ever imagine in your life. What do you imagine for your life? What do you see for your life? Is it a yes and? Are you receiving what you have right now and are you looking to build upon it? That's what abundance is. And that's what the flow is. And I think for each person out there that is seeking to live their best life, seek abundance. You need abundance. It's a very large quantity. Abundance is also of joy. It's a fill me up. It's kind of like one of those things where people tell you that you want to give from your overflow. See, when you're abundant in joy, when you're abundant in your energy, you have to give because you realize that you're not losing. You give because you realize that nothing is being taken away from you. You give because you know that you are the source. So to be abundant, what could you lack? What could you fear? What could hold you back? Abundance with confidence. Abundance with ambition. Abundance with love. Or abundant. That's what we ought to seek for. Abundance with ambition. Having abundance with your purpose. Just a large quantity of something where you will not lose because you ain't got to lose, not today. And if you think you got this far and that's it, I'm telling you there's more to come. For don't stop yourself for what's right here, right now. No, ma'am, no, sir. Not today. That's not what's promised on your life. I promise you. I promise you that you deserve more. And understand that what you got right now, it may be good and you may appreciate it, but it's okay to go after more. You're not the same person as you were yesterday. You damn sure ain't the same person as you were last year, 5 years, 15 or 20 years from now. You are this new person right now and you're going to be a new thing tomorrow. So move with it and grow with it. As they say, lean with it and rock with it. Understanding that abundance is in your ebbs and flows with everything in life. There's no need for you to fear of taking a chance because you know that abundant of opportunities are coming your way. No need to fear about breaking up in that relationship. You think that you met this dope person that another person isn't about to come? See, that's what you call abundance. See, you know that there's more to come. See, abundance is going to have you looking out for something extra. Abundance is going to have you waking up on the right foot. Abundance is going to have you leaning up on your back and saying to yourself, if you can look up, you can get up. Abundance is going to have you out here inspiring some folks. Abundance will have you living your best life on purpose and for a purpose. So I got a question for you. You got abundance? All right, then.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, did y'all hear that bass coming through?
Hello.
That's how we do it in Detroit.
What to do today at a minute or two till 2. A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For the beat to tattoo at 20 to 2, a rat to 2. All right, we're good.
Betty bought her some butter. Boy said she this butter's bitter, better, make her better. So it was Betty bought some butter better than her bitter butter to make her better, her bitter better.
Ooh.
And then it used to be Peter Piper picked a pepper. No, Peter Piper.
That's
which
right.
one was
That was
it?
right. That's
Peter
right.
Piper picked a pepper.
To pick a
Pickled-
peck of pick. That was always my downfall.
Did you ever do Mosaic?
You know,
Mosaic is a multicultural arts organization whose mission is to develop young performing artists through theatrical and musical training and to provide high-quality performances for audiences of all ages.
Yes, but they did not choose me.
Shut the front door.
So, yeah, that's part of my Mosaic. They said no back in the day. So, I went to Cass Tech and got with Marilyn McCormick. You know what I'm saying? And Readers Theater, PA Guild. And now the funny thing is Full Circle MC runs Mosaic. So I was actually just there a month ago in Detroit, and she was working with the kids. And I went by and just said, yo, what's good? And talked to them. So full circle, man.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about with dreams.
Yeah,
happen.
man.
If you're tuning in, you're listening, you said, what the heck is going on? Well, you tuned in to the Vitamin D with Dawn Day podcast, people or person, you. And I have a very special guest. You've heard his voice, but let me give him the appropriate introduction, okay? The name is Mallory McCree. He's an actor, a producer. And, he first produced a short film called Mr. Talented, which made its rounds in the Oscar-qualifying festivals, garnering 2 HBO nominations. Oh, where's that round of applause? For Best Short Film. McCree serves as head development for Resistor Films, and is the founder of Moonchild Creative, a multimedia production company based in Los Angeles, California, a native in Detroit, Michigan. What up, though?
What up, though?
And some of McCree's most notable roles, I saw him in them, just so y'all know. But additional ones include Sekou Bahan on...
Sekou Ba on Homeland.
He said, yup.
Sekou Ba. Season 6. Yeah.
Season 6 of Homeland. Catch it. Charlie on Quantico. And Cole in Marvel's The Defenders. Other prominent projects include Show Me a Hero, HBO.
Yeah.
The Last Ship.
Yeah.
Do you know Jocko Sims?
You know what? I do. I do know Jocko. We didn't get a chance to actually... No, we had one scene together that whole time. So we had one scene, we overlapped, and then I think he died towards the end.
Oh, he did?
He did. Spoiler if he died. My bad.
Jocko and I, believe it or not, I met Jocko on my radio journey.
What?
Yeah, when I had... See, because I'm in the business of making dreams come true, and that's what we're going to talk about your dreams. I'm not going to segue too much, but when I was hosting this show called Apollo Night LA, I first started out doing a board. One day they turned a camera on. They were like, wow, you got an amazing voice. Next thing I know, they were like, Dawn, why don't you come and do entertainment news? And then I was like a lead anchor, and shout out to his mom, Karen Sims, and the whole Apollo Night LA family. Guy Tori, Arif S. Kinchin, Isabella. Can't forget the poetess over there at Morris Media Studios. Shout out to Johnny Morris, because without you, Johnny Morris, I wouldn't be right here right now.
Hey.
Yeah, let's get back to the introduction. So along with The Last Ship, From Nowhere, South by Southwest, 2016 Audience Award winner. And Who Are We Now? Tiff.
Yes, that was Tiff.
And Jay Mallory is currently starring on Freeform's hit new series, Good Trouble. And I have to breathe. Clack, 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 clack. Man.
Very blessed, man. Very blessed. Yes. Yeah.
They say dreams don't work unless you do.
That's true. That's true. We doing a lot of work out here, man.
Welcome to my dream.
Yes, look at the space. Oh, man.
I can't tell. You know vitamin D started underneath the Comforter at 582 South St. Nicholas Avenue, the corner of 140th and St. Nick, right by the ABC.
All right, Harlem.
Uptown. What?
Yeah, we know that language.
Hello, somebody.
Hey, I started 154th and 8th. And Fred Doug. Right next to the Rucker Park. I had to leave there because somebody tried to break in my apartment. So then I moved to Brooklyn. So
how's this audio? Because he's leaning back. Can you hear him, Jeremiah? Okay.
I mean, this chair is like,
relax, you got your back, as long as they're good. But isn't that amazing? How you put these little seedlings in? But here's the thing. We talked about where the dream starts, right? Mm-hmm. The conception. But what does it feel like right now to live your dreams?
It feels purposeful. It feels like this is what I always knew. It feels like manifestation in its purest form. You know, you have these dreams, and if you believe it enough, and as my mom always said, if you want it bad enough, you will get it. So it doesn't feel like a surprise. I always have to say that. It's not a surprise because I've done the work and I've put the time in, the sacrifice, and so much more. And here it is manifested, and there's still so much more to do.
Come on.
Detroit kids. We're
going to talk about this in a minute. I got to always shout out to Detroit family, but you were sitting there looking good. I'm like, he's talking. Let me put it on my chest.
Hey.
No, but you're right.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Thomas, he's from Detroit too.
What? I didn't know that.
Eric Thomas, his name is E.T., but he's a motivational speaker. He says a lot of inspiring things, of course. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he says is that you have to want your dreams as bad as you want to breathe. He tells this phenomenal story about this young man. This young man meets this guy. He says he wants to be successful. He said, you want to be successful? He said, come on and join me. I want you to meet me out on the beach at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to teach you everything you know about being successful. So this young boy, he gets up, he gets suited and booted, he gets dressed, because you got to be good on your first day. You're going to meet a millionaire. He's about to tell you how to get everything you want out of life. You got to be ready. He even gets there early. So he goes out, stepping out on the beach. He sees the guys out there. The guys out there probably like doing some yoga, like stretching. And, he's being patient, trying to work it out. Like, okay, hey, let's just call him Mr. Man. Hey, Mr. Man, I'm here. All right, cool. So he kind of waits for a minute. It's like, all right, cool. And he says, oh, come out here. So he looks at him. And mind you, this is Dawn Dai's version. Don't be trying to come up in here thinking you're about to get Eric Thomas. You want to get that, go over there, okay? All right. So he comes up and he's like, come out here, and he's sitting there waiting patiently. And he's like, all right, sir. So time is going on. And the young man is starting to get frustrated. So he's like, sir, I came out here early in the morning. I'm dressed. I'm ready. Are you going to show me how to basically live my best life, get everything that I wanted, and live the life of my wildest dreams? He said, yes. So he said, come here. So now the brother is getting a little frustrated because he didn't got his suit on, and now you got me stepping in water. But again, if somebody is saying the life that you want is right there in front of you, what would you not do? How could you not move forward? Okay, so like anyone else would, he moves forward. So he said, all right, Mr. Man, I came out here early. I've waited. Now my suit is wet. Now you said that you were going to teach me how to be successful. So the man, next thing you know, the man takes the young man's hand and he douses it underwater. The guy looks at him like he's crazy and he's about to curse him out. Before he could fully catch his breath again, the guy dunks his hand again. He jumps up. At this point, this fella is about to fight because he's like, yo, what are you doing? He gets himself together. One more time. The guy holds him. He holds him there for a second. The guy is fighting. He's fighting. And he jumps up. At this point, the young man is like kind of like filled with rage. He's like, yo, what's good? And he said, well, that's the key to success. You got to fight for your dreams as bad as you want to breathe. See, the difference is that we can be lazy and not do what we want to do, right? We can push things aside, say we're not ready yet. Use this is a different blanketed approach that I think a lot of people do. This whole perfection thing, oh, it's not right. You're just procrastinating. But see, it comes to a point that when you want your dreams as bad as you want to breathe, see, you get out of the realm of having to push yourself. There's going to be a point, I don't care who you are, that if you try to cut the oxygen off of yourself, your body is going to fight. It's a natural reaction. And just like you said, you already knew what was coming forth in your life. You were just walking in it. Hence, we hear it another way. Faith without works is dead.
It's dead.
So it comes to a point that you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe, because even when you want to give up, even when you feel like you can't take it no more, your body ain't going to let you stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Hey,
that sounds like the Detroit hustle right there. I mean, it's one thing about being from the D. They teach you how to hustle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what my journey has been, is I didn't have anybody to show me. I'm the only actor in my family. Knew I wanted to be an actor since I was 3. And just was fortunate enough to have a family who supported that. They could see it. They nurtured it. I was in every church play, school play, you know, you name it. Like in my middle school, I created the performing arts department, you know, because they didn't have one. It was at a Quaker. I went to a Quaker. I went to Friends School of Detroit. You know,
I
went
didn't know
to
Friends was.
Yeah, it was a Quaker. So that was
Jessica Cooper go there? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know.
Oh,
but yeah, you know, and so I didn't have I come from a family of law enforcement and education. You know, so mom was a teacher, father was a cop, and then grandfather in healthcare and a lot of military people. So for me to be like, I want to act, I want to do this, you know, they were like, all right, you can do it, but you know, you should have this backup plan. You should be my mom wanted me to be a math teacher.
I
was like, you know, they need black male math teachers and they need black male science teachers. And I was like, but I had a mentor.
The mentors,
the
baby.
mentor was like, there is no backup plan. This is what you do. You give your all. You give 100%.
I give my all.
Come on.
To find my dreams inside of me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, bow down. I mean, so I in my mind, I was like, there is no backup plan. This is what I'm going to do. It's the only thing that is the most clear to me. And I have the support to do it. So I'm going to go.
So you said 3 years old.
3.
I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
What were you doing? It's interesting that you say that, because I went to 𝘸𝘪 Montessori. And we did a lot of acting and plays and stuff like that. So it was in the bug. I remember, I don't know how old I was, but I know I was young. My mama used to always watch the stories. So I don't know if it was As the World Turns, Days of Our Lives, one of them. But there was this one scene where this lady, she got upset. And I think she took some paper, she balled it up, and then she opened it back up to read it. And I practiced it like 5 times. It was my moment.
Oh my God.
When did you have your moment? Like you said at 3.
Yeah.
Did you see somebody on TV? Did somebody clap for you?
Well, it's a combination of things. I think one, I just believe God, the universe, it naturally, that energy naturally puts in us what we are meant to do.
Hey, catch it.
You know, so I just felt like it was the most natural thing. And then I remember being so young and I would just love to play dress up. Like I would go over to my great grandmother's house and she had a basket full of wigs and my grandfather had a basket full of glasses. And I would go and do all of these like performances for them. I just had to. It was, you know, and then I would say when I got to elementary school, a lot of people don't know this, but my 2 biggest influences are Maya Angelou and Cicely Tyson. And I don't know, like Maya Angelou was the first poetry that I was exposed to. And so...
Do you remember which one?
Well, probably Why I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I was probably one of the first. And then introduced to other people. So I remember my first performance was doing Hey Black Child in front of my school when I was in 4th grade. And so, hey, Black child, do you know who you are? Oh! Who you really are? Do you know you could be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? You know, and then getting that applause and that ovation and just so, yeah, you know, and it did something to me. And from there, I just have always known this is it, you know, and I used to memorize.
This is it. Here I stand.
Here I stand. And I used to memorize production companies. It's crazy. I would remember movies and know them by heart, and like TriStar and, and Cinemax and all these different production companies that would come on before a movie starts. I always knew what they were and the music and,
Wow.
and then I knew all the actors' names. Like I could always retain actors' names. Like it was just such a part of me. And I collected movies. Like that's all I ever did. Every time we go to Target, Mom, can I buy a movie? Can I buy a movie? Can I buy a movie? Which now is crazy because you don't even collect movies. They just stream and, I didn't collect toys. I collected films. And it's such a part of me. I don't know where it comes from, but it was just such an innate part of my behavior, what I wanted, what I knew. That's why I say it was just God's plan,
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. It's crazy, but it seems like it's only right when you really look how everything unfolds. And you said something that was key. I can't remember. All I knew was I said catch it. So I hope you caught it. But you said basically like when we are created, like God formed or put in us what we are to do. And it's like, show up. It's almost like what you do every day when you go on set.
Mm-hmm.
Show up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that we see the sun every day. Yeah. Show up and give us the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody gave you the light so that you can edify and light other people up. Yo, I was just telling my trainer, and I can't say thank you enough to every person that goes after their dreams. Like I always say at the end of the podcast, I say I'm in the business of making dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
And I damn sure ain't gonna forget about mine.
Mm.
And I say that because when you follow your dreams, you give other people permission to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that, I was telling my trainer, him being so diligent about going after his passion of fitness and working out has enrolled me. And now I can live my life full out. Like I was on Ellen and I was doing this workout segment and I was able to be comfortably Dawn. Like, in that sports bra and spandex pants, that's a big deal,
Yeah.
And I posted up on my Instagram account just what it was then and what's happening now. And it's like, when you show up as yourself, and in your case, you were putting on wigs and costumes to go on a role, but that was you exemplifying those other characters.
Yeah.
But other people that are looking to emulate someone else, it's just like, no, dog, just do you and it's enough.
I think that, you're talking about authenticity and I feel like that's a common theme and thread that I think about. I think most of my work in the roles that I have chosen, and I say chosen to go after or to take on, at the heart of it is identity, and I feel like we as people on this planet, it's very easy for us to, try to be something we're not, and I'm always trying to get to the core of who are you really authentically, and I revel in that. I revel in just becoming comfortable with myself. Because it's crazy. Growing up in Detroit, I had an English teacher for a mom, and people would be like, it was funny, the dynamics.
No wonder why the diction, the articulation is there, and I love it. I love it.
You grow up in the city and in downtown Detroit, right? And then people are like, yo, why you sound white? And so having to navigate with those dynamics of being, articulate and someone who has an educational family, and the politics of what's that like, and having to figure out how to fit in and maneuver within your own community. But then when you get to the white community at large, how do you finagle that? All the different types of code switching that exist just so that you can be yourself. And you're like, am I being myself? When am I myself? Because I feel like I'm talking this way over here and I feel like I'm being this way over here for these group of people. And ultimately I was like, F it. This is who I am. I'm going to show up and be me and do the kind of things that I want to do. And this is the kind of work that I'm going to do and give to the world and invite people to be their authentic selves. So that's my mission, essentially.
And you know what? It's one thing for somebody to just say something, but you're authentically in it because, I had to do some research. We were digging up some stuff about you for this interview.
Oh, Lord.
We caught up with this interview that you did behind the Velvet Rope TV.
Oh.
And you were talking about a belief as an actor. Mm-hmm. And it basically coincides with what you're just saying right now. All right, Jeremiah, play that clip for me.
Talk to me about being part of a show that has that type of touch, that relevant touch to topics that are so important globally today?
Really, it's about, to me, as the actor, it's giving me a sense of responsibility. It's giving, I believe that each role I get, each of these roles I'm supposed to create a voice or a platform and really speak and shine light on that character or that sector. Yeah. Yeah, it's a responsibility. You know, you are given the voice and the opportunity to breathe life into a character and speak for a community for whatever that particular circumstance is. And so it's something I don't take lightly. It's something that, you know, I'm in Homeland and in Quantico, I'm playing a Muslim, you know, with these both of them kind of radical beliefs. I'm not Muslim, but the research I had to do to understand, you know, you look at what's happening right now with Afghanistan, the Taliban and all of that. And I think you just sort of have an understanding of it all in totality. So it's not just black and white. It's not just this side versus this side, but you can understand a full spectrum so that you can then deliver, you know, and understand what you're saying and give credence to that character.
Right. And so making sure that what I love too is that you're amplifying. And I think that's the thing that we're looking for in art. We're looking to amplify our lives, literally depict the life that we live. And if we can't see ourselves, it almost does us a disadvantage for us to kind of be emulating or to be ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we are what we are exposed to or what our imagination can take us.
Yes. Yeah. I stand by that.
Sidebar, do you remember how we met?
Yeah. We met at Scoop. Yes.
Scoop in Detroit.
Oh my gosh. We met in this program. It was like an after school elective program that was designed for children or these kids, teenagers.
Detroit teenagers.
Detroit teenagers who wanted to be in media and teach them how to operate behind the camera and in front of the camera. But gave us the tools to learn how to do audio and do video. And we had to direct these PSAs and, you know, and it was just access. It gave us access and exposure to how to create literally what we're doing right now.
Yo, dead ass. If it wasn't for Scoop, I wouldn't be right here.
Oh my gosh.
But I got something else.
What
Remember Miss Mac?
Yes. I remember Miss Mac.
I got a message.
Uh-oh.
Miss Mac is here.
No way.
Well, with Dawn, I remember that everyone wanted her to do the voiceovers because her voice had a wonderful sound to it. And she read cold copy very easily and gave us a lot of emotional oomph.
Aww.
And that she was just a delight to have, to be perfectly honest. And Jamal was earnest and excited and really, really was into acting and wanted nothing more than to become an actor, which apparently he has. So
oh my God.
I'm delighted for both of them. I think that they are the rising stars from the Scoop program that I always thought they would be, that we always thought they would be, all the adults who are around to watch and see them. And like others before and after them, they are continuing to rise, meet their dreams, and to do the things that make all of us proud. And I feel blessed to have known them and have been able to spend a little time with each of them.
Wow.
Yo.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Dang.
Oh, man.
You talk about people.
That was like over 20-something years ago.
I know. We be telling my age, girl. I look young. We look young.
We young. We still holding.
You talk about people planting seeds.
You know, I guess I'm emotional because it's that thing you say you can't give up.
Yeah.
I didn't even know myself as far as like having a voice. I knew I always took pride in speech.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know you can make money doing voiceovers or like that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And were you in the program with Crystal Stokes? You remember Crystal? Anyway, Crystal was there. We were doing this mental health. I was doing a mental health piece for her.
I remember that. Yeah,
and
I remember that.
she asked me to voice it.
Yeah.
And then remember we were walking down the street right there on Woodward.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my
We're
gosh.
human, just like you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it was then when I did that. And because I remember you wanted to act at every moment. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because I remember after I did my voice thing, everybody was asking me, was like, Ryan, I'm trying to think who else in the program. Dawn, could you voice this? And it was like, then I was like, I got something. And that even propelled me for when it was time for me to go to Howard. That's how I knew I was studying TV production. Heck, when I started at Howard, I was a freshman teaching the seniors how to edit projects.
Wow. Look at that.
And she said that she's even with you gonna be that actor. And look, you're doing it. What?
Yeah, man. That's... come on, Dawn.
Welcome to the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast.
Jeez
Catch
Louise. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard Miss Mac's voice in years. But you think about people who have influenced you and who have set the stage, and you never know. I always say, you just never know who's having an impact on you.
Yeah.
And the impact you're having on someone else. You just don't know that. And I mean, Miss Mac and
Letitia McCree.
I was going to say McCree because we have Miss Page.
Miss Page.
Yeah.
Randall.
Yep.
And don't forget Mr. Walter, rest in peace.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did that.
Yeah.
And we were those children. Yeah, man.
And like you said, whether it was you and it was your grandparents or your parents clapping for you as you put on your performance, like they were clapping for us. And it's like, I can't urge people enough to understand the importance of why it is so necessary to speak life over your life. Like, first it was the word. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. You got to do the affirmation. I was just saying on another episode, I said, well, hey, if we're energy, right? And energy is life. Your vibration from your voice, that's energy, it's movement. It's the same molecules that made oxygen, which made hydrogen, which allows you to function with water. And you can produce that.
So watch your words.
Hey, because the spirit knows no difference.
Yeah.
People be joking all the time, like, oh, you can't do nothing, or I ain't gonna never do this, or I tell people right now, don't speak that over me.
Yeah. But let's go there though, right? Why do people do that?
Why is that?
Like I think people, because we are conditioned for failure or whatever, there is a conditioning of you cannot not be better than me, and I don't know where that like I'm in therapy right now, and I had a realization.
Shout out, you are the first Black man to come on my podcast to say they're in therapy, and I appreciate that. That's one thing we support on the Vitamin D with Dawn Day podcast is mental health awareness. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I am in therapy, proudly
Black
so, and I had an epiphany. And this is, so I also go to Agape, Reverend Dr. Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, and I had been away for a while, but I tuned in to a session that he had, a sermon, and he talked about problems, and he was like, you have a problem, and this isn't me in my version, you have a problem when you're putting more emphasis on the problem than God or the universe. And so that what that did for me was made me think about what problems do I actually have? Like, what are my problems? And then when I was in therapy, I was like, wait a minute, I don't actually think I have any legitimate problems. And when did it become a prerequisite for life to have a problem? Like, do you actually have to have a problem? You may have challenges. Challenges do exist, but to take on the energy of having an actual problem. And I'm like, I'm very blessed. I'm in a very privileged space in my life. I'm doing what I love to do. I have a beautiful child, beautiful wife. Lord is blessing us in all many facets right now. And not just right now, but in general, whether we see them or don't see them, the universe is always working in our favor.
In your greater good.
In your greater good. And that's why I'm like, what are my actual problems? And is it okay not to have a problem? You know?
Wow, because sometimes we always are like, we can get caught up in searching for something to be wrong.
Exactly.
Oh, catch
Which
it.
brings me back to why I even said, like, there's a conditioning that happens that makes it seem as though we have something you cannot excel or you're not supposed to. And especially when you talk about certain communities, you know, the crabs in a barrel, you know, sort of mindset, you know, and it's like, we have to get over that.
But I had a situation where I felt like I was caught up in in something that was, I think it was a crabs in a barrel situation, but I want to say I given grace, but I was able to understand where it was coming from. Meaning, it's like this. Let's just think of survival of the fittest. If we were to think if certain groups of people have been denied access, something has been trying for you to go after something. And now it's a situation of I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, I need to stop you. I'm just fighting for my moment. And when you have so much lack, or I guess it just depends on your perspective. So actually, I don't know if I'm making a valid point. Your moment is just like, oh my gosh, I'm fighting for so long. I'm just trying to get a cup of water.
Absolutely.
And not realizing that in your cup of water, you're pulling me down, rather than let's just build it to go after it together.
Absolutely. And that takes collective thinking. This is new thinking. I think we're privileged to live in this time where so many of us as a community are saying we want self-help, self-improvement. We're able to finally utter those words and say therapy, and I want better mental health. I want self-care. And that takes work. That I didn't just I can speak this now, but there was a journey from where I was to getting here now, you know, and there has to be a raising of consciousness overall for us to really help each other. It's not a crabs in a barrel. Yes, there has been lack and that has been systemic. You know, we know why.
Hello, somebody.
But we can also change it. You know what I'm saying? We actually do have the power to change it. And it's going to take work. I ain't saying, look, like, hey, just like that. No, I think as we raise our level of consciousness and we give back, and that's why it's so important to give back, to go back and serve, you know, and lift people in any way that you can. Not, oh, when I get here, I'm going to do this thing. No, what can you do right now? You know, because it's the same energy. And then as you grow and get more access, then you'll be able to do more. But you got to find what you can do right now because somebody is depending on that. They're depending on that, you know?
But here's the thing. How did you know? Or was therapy a thing that was discussed for you?
Therapy.
Because, I mean, how many Black men do you know that are going to therapy? Is it a lot, or I'm just thinking of Detroit? I don't even know.
I can't say I know. I know my wife's in therapy. She's been in therapy for years. And I know that I have always wanted therapy. I did not take therapy because I thought, oh, there's a whole thing or a stigma against it. It was more of, can I afford therapy? Can I find somebody in my, can I get enough insurance? You know, is somebody in my network, you know, until recently I just said, you know, I need it now because I just need it. There are some, you know, I'm a father now and, you know, I just need it. I need to be able to speak to somebody for myself and be able to get out what I need to get out. I just need to do it. And whether I had examples or not, I knew what I needed from me. And I knew that ultimately my mom, you know, who has gone on to be an ancestor, it was something that I recognized she needed, you know, back in the day, but she didn't do it. And so I'm like, I can't, you know.
Looking back, I think my mom, she needed it. After my father died immediately. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like when you know better, you have to do better.
You got to change the cycle.
I myself, I've said I want to do it. I have people in my family and a few friends that are into therapy. If for somebody that's interested and may not know what to expect, what would you say? And then also, if you can even say something to that Black man, there are so many Black men in my family that I know that are opposed to therapy. that feels like, oh, that's a weakening of a man. You need to figure it out. Oh, you need to learn how to deal with your own problems. But it's like, how are you putting pieces together if your fingers are getting cut constantly?
Yeah.
So what would you say?
Man, I think...
Just say, hey, black man.
I would just, hey, black man, do you know who you are?
Hey, catch it.
Who you really are? Do you know that there are resources and tools out there to support you and there's no judgment? Like, that's the thing, is that there really is no judgment. It's really about saying that you love yourself. And this is, you are giving yourself, think of it this way. You go buy yourself a dope pair of Jordans. You go buy yourself a dope pair of whatever, whatever it is. And that makes you feel good temporarily, right? It gives you, your endorphins are boosted, right? In that moment. But just think how amazing it would be to have a whole person that you can unleash everything that you're feeling unto. You can just, like, that's what they get paid for. They are there to support you. And even if you can't afford it, there are other resources for you. It's just about talking and gaining clarity. That's really what it's about, is gaining clarity so you can go and be the brilliant person that the world tells you most times that you aren't. You know what I'm saying? But you are. And I'm here to tell you, and Dawn is here, and that's the vitamin D effect.
Hello, somebody.
You are worthy.
Hey!
You are worthy of somebody, you are worthy for yourself to get help, to, Mr. Talented, you brought up Mr. Talented. The reason I found this story in a newspaper article about this young man named Terrell Shaw, who was this brilliant artist in New York, born to two deaf parents in Brownsville, Brooklyn, one of the worst neighborhoods. His parents left him when he was young. And despite all of those challenges, he went to FIT on a scholarship. He was making these amazing bow ties out of Lego pieces.
I saw that, freedom.
Yeah, exactly, right? And despite all that, he had a mental illness. He had schizophrenia.
Oh, really?
And because of that, there was a struggle between him and his art, and just, you got to think, being black and an artist and having a mental illness and not being able to support it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
it seems such an interesting dynamic, because you have what you feel like is your reality, and somebody is telling you that's such the case. And it's like, what do you mean? This is what I'm experiencing. Absolutely.
And this cat, he actually thought being the safest place for a black man in space, the safest place for a black man is in space.
Outer space?
Outer space. So he would walk around New York City in a space outfit, and ultimately he took his life wearing that same space suit. And so when we were doing the research and just really trying to understand what our intentions were in telling his story, and my intentions were always clear in that this kid is brilliant. He's brilliant, but he didn't have the support that he needed. And I think that did something to me as well, especially in tapping into his, the best I could to his psyche, was like, this brother just needed help. And how many of us don't have the help and the support that is so accessible, and to whether, and sometimes it's to our own detriment. We say things like, I can't, that's not for me. Nah.
Oh, I'm good. I don't need to talk to somebody. What I need to do that for?
You talk to your boy, don't you?
Right.
But don't you think it's a little selfish to put everything on your boy? Mm-hmm. And your boy probably got his own problems. Mm-hmm. You need a certified clinician who can actually point you in the right direction.
Who has no bias.
No
who
bias.
Isn't leaning anywhere. That's here to just tell you what you're saying to give it back.
Absolutely. It feels good. I mean, it feels incredible. It's like I leave my sessions motivated, new awareness, because I think ultimately that's what it's about, is just becoming aware.
But do you think people think like it's a new is it because they feel like it's a new thing?
What?
Like therapy. Like, is therapy like a new thing? Like, do you feel like people have been doing this for forever? Because I'm just wondering why people feel like, well, I never had therapy, so I don't need it anymore. Like, almost as if it's something.
I think that it's just new. It's new in the vocabulary today. Like, we are in a era of self-help. Like, you just have people who talk about it more. who are breaking those paradigms and those stigmas that we have had in the past. You got more Black people talking about it.
Shout out to Simone Biles.
Right.
Shout out to Naomi Osaka.
Right.
And everybody else who what could look like is the shebang bang of whatever it is to do, but to say, I got to choose me. Right. And it's like, it's one of those things, we can understand this whole concept when it comes to flying on a plane. And they say, hey, put the oxygen mask on yourself, then you can support. Hey, are you going to put some oxygen on yourself?
Yeah.
Because you just said, I feel free.
And look, that's just one form of therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like there are many other healthy forms of therapy. Meditation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something I practice. You know, now do I do it every day like I want to do it? You know, but at least try to get 10 minutes in of just, you know, spacing out and just giving myself a breath. What I tell myself is I cannot touch my phone in the morning before I've given thanks to God and I've had a chance to like set my intentions for the day. I bet not touch that phone until I do that.
Man.
You know, 95% of the time it works. Sometimes you just gotta like, okay. But most of the time, like I have to, and that was a discipline I had to give myself. Because the day gets going and you're like, you know, or I'll put guided meditations on while I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just about being mindful and present and clear. And I was not always this way. Let me be clear. I don't want to come on here and sound like, oh, dog, you know, like, no, it was a whole journey to getting here, you know, but I'm glad I'm here. And there's still so much that I'm learning and being a part of this journey, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I want to be here.
Hey, you gotta make a decision, right?
Yeah,
live life on purpose and for a purpose.
Yeah, man.
You said something, you said it's a journey, and I say something all the time. My old barber, Louis T. Paul, would always say, he said, the journey is the experience, and the experience is the journey. This is it. Here I stand. It's here that I stand. Not back there, not over there, not in front of you, not behind you, not beside you, but right here. And if I'm right here, then I just need to be concerned with what's happening right now. And if I'm so present right now, I can see the gifts that life has to offer me.
Yeah, man. Oof.
All right, man. We talking about this. I love this. Thank you for being vulnerable. I want to talk some more stuff. So we're going to take a break because one of the things I thought was so dope, you talked about your wife. And I understand that there is something important. So you're talking about organic relationships. And, you know, I think a lot of millennials and just people in general always into like finding love and your soulmate, your twin flame. But it's like sometimes, how can you recognize it? Well, we got to be able to relate, damn it. Whether that's vulnerability, but more importantly, communication.
Yes.
So when we come back, I'm here with Mallory McCree, my old friend from Detroit.
Hey.
What up, though? And we're going to talk about that. Plus, I got this cool sweatshirt up in here from the Detroit kids because I'm representing for my city all day.
All day.
All right. I'm going to throw this on real quick. We're going to come back with the second half of this interview. It's Vitamin D with Dawn Dai.
Hey guys, it's Jada Michael.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Jaden Brown. You're tuned in with Dawn Dai.
Get your dose of Vitamin D with Dawn Dai and get excited about your life.
Watch out, dinner.
All right, guys, we're back. I told you I'm in the studio with a dear friend from Detroit. What up, though?
What up, though?
Mallory McCree, actor, producer, husband, father, phenomenal Black man who believes in mental health and loving and taking care of himself. And more importantly, a brother who said, I got a dream and I'm worthy enough to pursue it. Round of applause for this brother. Okay, right before the break, I mentioned something about organic relationships. We left off just talking about therapy, being open. And I've spoke about this before, and Jeremiah probably is over me talking about her. But Brené Brown has really opened up this whole door, this realm of talking about how important vulnerability is. And I've seen quotes, and I even have it up on my refrigerator. Vulnerability is your source of strength. Is a source of strength. Because I think a lot of people may think it's weakness, but it allows you to communicate and to relate with one another. And when you're talking about organic relationships, I think there's some sort of communication going on here.
There should be.
Okay, so talk to us about it. What is that?
I mean...
And does it play a role in your career, or is this just with intimate
No. Well, my wife and I, we are so intertwined. It's scary. So let me just give you the rundown. My wife is from Detroit as well.
What up, though?
Cass Tech.
Angela
Lewis.
Shout out Angela Lewis. Hey.
Angela Lewis, or as y'all might know her out there, Aunt Louie on Snowfall.
Oh!
Hey. And yeah, we're both from Detroit, but one of us is older. And so we missed each other while we were in Detroit, but we grew up in downtown Detroit, both went to Cass, born in the same hospital.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. Hutzel Hospital. You know what I'm saying? So, and both our mothers or families, Deltas, Qs. Like, let me tell you, we've got so many things in common. We had to make sure that, we weren't related. And yeah, she's older than me. And so that's how we kind of missed each other. But then we met in New York. We met doing a play. And we knew we were both from Detroit, but we didn't quite know each other, and so we ended up doing this play, which started in La Jolla. It was a play called Milk Like Sugar by Kirsten Greenidge. La Jolla is this beautiful city in California, in San Diego.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful suburb of San Diego. Nice. So there's La Jolla Playhouse that we did that, and then we took it back to New York. And mind you, my wife had a thriving career in the theater community when I met her. Like she was top dog. She was top dog.
You better have her just matching your wife's flag. Go ahead, girl.
Yo, and I'll be honest, like when I was courting her, she wasn't having it. She's like, "You young, like nah." And
she would always say, "Like I'm not gonna date you."
Look. We were doing this play, and I was insatiated by her. I was like, she was gorgeous. She was the lead of the play, so she never left the stage. But as she'll tell you, like whenever I go somewhere, I like to just explore. I like to just like, I'm hopping on the bus. Anybody want to come with me? And she was like, I'll come. And she loved that I was just so adventurous. And that is definitely run through our relationship. And so that was kind of like the first. Okay.
Wait, so first she wasn't checking for you.
She wasn't checking for me. No, none of that.
She would always answer your calls.
But she would just kind of be like, but then I would be like, yo, can I walk you to your door? She's like, I don't need you to walk me to my door. Like, no, young buck, no, sitting, no. But then, I'm a Cancer and so is she. Our birthdays are 4 days apart. That's another thing I should say of like how connected we are. And eventually I just started doing romantic things,
Like what? Tell us.
All right. So there's this whole story about how she was, there was one morning where she woke up and she, She sent, seized up. That's the word I'm looking for. She seized up because it was the star of this play, never left the stage, and there was a lot of pressure on her. And so she had put a text out asking everybody, hey, who knows how to do massages? And I was like, oh, I do. And she was like, excuse me, I'm good. No, thank you. So one of our other castmates did. And so she goes to rehearsal. And while she's at rehearsal, I happen to come through as she's ending her rehearsal for her first scene. I hear her talking about, yeah, well, there's almond eye, this beautiful boy with these almond eyes. And he's looking at me. And I was like, by the door, like, oh. And so then I got some stress relief tea and I wrote a note on it and I said, from Almond Eyes J. And that was like the first, hey. And she was like, oh, okay, that's sweet. All right. And then we started having conversations and then we officially went out on our first date to the San Diego Zoo.
Did you ask or she asked you?
I asked. I was like, would you please come with me? First, I was like, can I cook you dinner? I invited her.
He said, let me get what's in that belly, baby. Let me show you what I really can do. Oh my gosh. Hey.
So I cooked her dinner and I think I was nervous because something I normally cook just went all kinds of crazy. Oh my Because, I was cooking my tacos, but I do a very special taco and I was doing something, I over-seasoned it and everything was just off. And I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. And so, one thing led to another. Everything was great. And then I think just really being vulnerable. The first time we were intimate, it was a different feeling. It was like, oh my gosh, like it was really, there was just an energy and a power of like, whoa, I don't think I've ever felt this before. And I was not looking for this. And it was just like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not trying to do this. But the energy was so enigmatic that it was a force that was like, this is meant to be. And even if I tried it to get away, it would not. And that's why we learn how many things we have had in common throughout, and it's crazy. And so fast forward, I did a plant ceremony. So I don't know if you ever heard of ayahuasca.
I want to. Why am I screaming? I don't know. Sorry. I get excited. I want to do ayahuasca. Well, I would like to go to Peru to do ayahuasca.
Me
you
too.
Did it there?
Well, here's the thing. I did not do ayahuasca. I went with the guys from Peru, this family that conducts these plant ceremonies, thinking I was going to go do ayahuasca.
In Peru?
No, not in Peru. They live in Peru, but they come to California.
Okay.
Right, they come to the States and they host these events. I thought I was going to go do ayahuasca, ended up doing what's called San Pedro. So ayahuasca is the mother energy, right? Or the womb. So you're all the things dealing with your mother and the womb and all of that, I still need to do that one. But this one is of the father energy. It's of the masculine energy and rooted in love. So anyway, I do this plant ceremony, and the first thing that comes to me, like, because at first I'm drinking, I'm like, ain't nothing happening.
Oh my God! What happened?
I lean back, and my wife appeared on top of me, like as if she were floating on top of me, and the energy and what I received was, oh, this was always meant to be, and no matter what universes or what planes we're on, we will always find our way back together. Like we are destined in any life form. Like this is meant to be. And that was such a huge revelation because, I was going through a moment of like, dang, I was in New York. I was booed up. Like my whole entire adult life, I've been booed up.
Booed up.
Like, and living in both.
You gotta shout out to your exes who got you ready for your wife now. I mean, that's
real. That's real.
Way.
That's real.
But
yes,
hey.
I mean, yes, yes. So, and that was a time where I was like, dang, man, I'm living in New York. I was booed up. I'm in LA. I've never had and then that was confirmation saying, because that wasn't meant for you.
Hey, catch
it.
And
you didn't need that.
Catch it.
Because you could have caught something else.
Catch that.
So, and this particular spirit is connected with you throughout the course of time. I don't know if you watch Loki, but like,
what's that?
Oh, on Disney Marvel thing. Anyway, it's about multiple universes, and there's all these different Lokis. Oh Lord, here's my nerd. Anyway, but bringing it back, it's like no matter what universe, parallel, wherever we are, perpendicular, you name it, we will always find each other. Mm-hmm. And that was like, oh my gosh. And so since then, like, so you talk about organic connections. That was just something that I wasn't even trying. I was like, yeah, just a beautiful girl. She, and then like I found my wife and we dated for 2 years and I just knew. Like I knew. I was like, oh no, I'm not stupid. And also for her, she says that she realized she had a dream or a message from God saying, an image of our child. And she was like, this is too much for me to hold on to myself. So I'm going to share this with you. And then the thing that kind of cemented us was she had said, I deserve you.
Wow.
And she said, I deserve this because we both at that time were just coming out of very tumultuous relationships that, we didn't know how to, they happen, their experience, right? And when she said those words, I deserve you, it's like, or I deserve this. And I was like, oh my God, I do too. I deserve to be in a healthy, kind relationship. And I think back anytime we, as relationships do, you have like, arguments, whatever, I go back to that. That's what I go back to is like, no, we deserve each other. in this. And so that's really the heartbeat of our relationship, you know, and we're always working on communication. She, like I said, she's been in therapy for years, and she brought us to couples therapy, you know, and we were able to talk through some things, which then we learned it was another affirmation or confirmation that, oh, I need individual therapy, you know, because you got to be able to figure out how you show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how do you show up in this relationship? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if you want to work on things, and I think that's healthy. I mean, and we strive on thriving, like in our career, in our personal relationship, in our relationship to spirit. You know, she's the one who brought us to Agape. You know, I was like, this is different. You know, this is different. Okay. But gradually it was like, oh, this is necessary. And there's a lot of unlearning that I need to do that Reverend Michael has taught me, Reverend Arlene, all, you know, the Agape family, and just the unlearning and the willingness to learn again, learn a new thing. Yeah.
But so
He's like, where?
Because I want to really highlight, underline, and put an exclamation point behind organic relationships. Mm-hmm. Did you already understand the concept of organic relationships before your wife, or is while you were in the relationship with your wife? And are you recommending that people study organic relationships? What do you want people to get from organic relationships?
Organic, I think you talk about organic relationships. You have to break that down. What is that? Okay. I think you got to understand what is organic. Organic is the most authentic, going back to the beginning of our conversation, the most organic version or authentic version of yourself. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand who you are in order to show up and what your intentions are and what you want, you know? Like I thought, and here's the thing is that I may not have been looking for an organic relationship when I got with my wife. I think I was looking for an organic hookup.
Hello, somebody.
You know, and there were bigger things that led to that, you know, us becoming, and I think that's the openness and the awareness that one has to have of like, oh, you know, this was meant for me. You know, but that's
how you can come to terms and say, I deserve you.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Catch it.
And this happened at a time I have never, ever been, I don't know what the dating plane is like. I've never, ever done online dating. Like my ex, like we were together from college until we weren't, until something new happened, you know? So I literally went from one relationship into the other. And like, this is not what I wanted or set out to happen. It just organically happened that way.
But do you feel like you've positioned yourself in a way to walk in alignment with that? To attract that in your life?
I'm a Cancer. What do you want from me? Like I'm a romantic.
Cancers are romantic. You guys are emotional.
We're sensitive. Like I don't know. We feel things.
I'm surprised I don't have any Cancer stuff because I sure be feeling. True story, I'm like a Cadbury egg. Like I'm hard on the outside, I'm soft on the inside. But only people that know the gangster of the softness is if I love you or I like you, or if you really know. If you're in, once you get in, you're in.
Right.
But then I can seem like I'm raw digger gangster.
Well, what's your rising?
So I have memorized this. All right. I am a Sun Aries. That's what I was born. My rising, I think, is the Virgo.
Okay.
Dang, and I forget what the doggone moon is. God.
Well, I will tell you, my rising is Aries. And I only learned that recently. I can
see that. Because you got love. It's this love. Yo, the Aries is the ram, right? Don't butt the ram. Don't do that. People think when you try to boss a ram around, we're going to ram you back.
Right.
Best way, just let us be.
Yeah.
What I sense, I'm just trying to go off of recollection. Mm-hmm. I feel like no one's going to step to you the wrong way. Whether it's addressing even just coming to your name correctly, saying your name correctly, addressing the title or push over. But that's why I've seen that Aryan leader come out. I feel.
I mean, yes, I'm naturally a leader. But you know, when people say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, respect, I try to put that energy out so that I can receive that energy.
Yeah, come on.
And I'm not going to disrespect myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect you to disrespect me because that's not going to be a good look.
Not for neither one of us.
For nobody. And I'm from Detroit. So, come on, let's, so but going back to organic relationships, really, I think it's about understanding who you are and what your intentions are and what you want out of an actual relationship.
And it's like, you got to get grown enough, I feel. When you meet with somebody, I want to know, what are your intentions?
Right.
If your intention is to hold my attention, let me know.
Right.
Do you think it's important, like, say if you start talking to somebody, what are your thoughts? How soon should you ask somebody, what are you looking for? Because lucky for you, every time you with somebody, they would look for a dang old relationship. But it's so interesting that we shy away from showing up as our authentic self.
Yeah.
We can't even step into a situation because we don't even know what we're stepping into because we haven't even done the work.
Right. Well, let me correct you. I don't think that either of them were looking for relationships. I think that it's just, it's just a natural part of me. I think I am what's the term?
The charmer.
Well,
he got that gab. That's that Aries. We gon' swindle you over here. Shut it, swing my way.
Well, I try to respect women, right? I try, not try. I respect women. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is, even if at a time when it's like my intentions are just for a hookup, you know what I'm saying? Like, my intentions are for a hookup, but I'm not gonna I don't want to be swarmy in that. Like, I don't want to be like, an asshole and trying to hook up with you. I'm still going to try to do it in an organic, way. I'm not just trying to use you, And so I think that, and then when I see a quality in somebody else that, like I said, I wasn't trying to be in a relationship. Like, my intention at the time was to hook up. But that person and that experience was something I recognized that I needed for me. And it was a different point of view. It was different from how I was in my last relationship. It was like, I can be in a respectful relationship. Somebody can actually be kind to me. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to my ex, but like, this is something that I think that I want to explore, and it got messy. But ultimately, it's like Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, I'm ready.
If you ask me,
I'm ready. One of them,
Ain't nothing like having something that ain't ready.
So, and that's part of evolution. You know what I'm saying?
And it takes time.
Yes.
And patience.
Yes. And communication is key.
Please, just don't hold your tongue. Because listen, you said something earlier on. I don't know I think you were talking about when you talk about therapy, about seeing things clear. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when you talk about communication, it's key. It is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Mm-hmm. And I think half the time when we think about any type of confusion in a relationship is to break down the communication.
Right.
You can't see and you can't hear each other appropriately.
Right.
Because at some point, even when people decide to break apart, at some point one had to wonder, like, do you love yourself? Because I don't think people give enough time to, or even enough respect for themselves to show up as themselves and to speak on behalf of themselves. Because sometimes we get in a situation and like, oh, well, it seems this way. I'm just going to rock with this flow or just do whatever it does. And it's like, no, know what you're stepping into.
But, and also when you're in a relationship, you start to learn things about people, like
that shows up later.
I am an explorer. I love to travel. I love, like, my wife and I, we have, thank you, God, we have been blessed to go around the world.
Wow.
Like, we have been to so many places, and our baby is about to turn 2 next month, but she had a passport when she was 4 months old because we were, before the pandemic hit, going to China. Oh my gosh, of all places.
Was it amazing?
We were going to go to China and we were going to Portugal. We didn't make it.
Caught it.
We were. Like, everything happened in China right before, but, that's the things that we are explorers. And my past relationship wasn't about that. And you're like, I can't, and that's the thing is that you start to learn about people and what you want, and we support each other differently. Like, we, in terms of career, getting back to career.
I was about to ask you that, the importance of having a life partner when pursuing your dream.
I mean, it's a beauty that we both work in this industry and we support each other, but it's even better that, like, we're both from Detroit.
And y'all be in the same projects together. How dope is that you get to be in the same project with your boo thing?
Yes, it is. It's, it was interesting because we just shot something 3 weeks ago, and it was our first time in 10 years working together, and it was our first time on camera. And the level of respect that you gain for your, that's your partner, but as like, this is my scene partner for that person's craft. Like watching her show up and be amazing on television as Aunt Louie, in whatever role she takes on, or the readings that she does or the theater gigs that she does, it's like you have to have a true admiration for your partner. And my partner is dope, like she's great. And we work on that to get we help each other, and wherever there's like a weakness, like we are there for one another. And I think I don't know, man. I love that. There's a mutual respect for us in a relationship, but a mutual respect for us as artists. And that's a beautiful thing.
Oh my God. Oh, organic relationships. I can have you on to talk so much more forever, but we got to transition.
Yes. What's next?
I got to switch you over to something. This right here.
Oh, Lord. More surprises? Oh, my God.
Listen, you don't know what you going to get on the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. To some, it looks like a box. To others that have vision, you can see it's a chest. Mm-hmm. But here on the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast, it is called the Vita Chest. In the Vita Chest, there are some terms. Mm-hmm. Terms probably related to your field. Not probably, they are related to your field. Okay. And I want you to dive into that actor improv and splash us with some inspiration and motivation that just come to you with these words.
Okay.
And I want you to use like 3 of them.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with the first one. So close your eyes. He can't tell. They're folded anyway, but...
let's go with it.
Put your hand in there and pull one out.
Okay. Same. Bam. Let's do that one. All right.
What's the word?
Of course. Soulmate.
Can you talk about alignment? I can't make it up. It's Vitamin D with Dawn Dai.
Soulmate. I mean, there you have it. Yes, I honestly feel I'm with my soulmate.
So give us something inspirational with soulmate. Not necessarily applying to you. What does soulmate mean? Maybe you want to break down soul and mate or the feeling, but give us an inspirational moment there.
Oh, man. What is soul, right? Soul is a relation. Soul is the vibration, as you were talking about. It's the energy, it's your chakras, it's an alignment. It's your life force. Soul is your life force. It's what gets you up in the morning and gets you grooving and, hey, give you that energy and that vibe for the day, right? Whether it's up or down or all the way around, it is your soul. It's your soul, baby. You know what I'm saying? Soul glow. Let your soul glow.
Soul glow.
Soul glow. But it's your engine, it's your rev, you know what I'm saying? And mate. Your mate is your friend. It's your lover. It can be your lover, or it can just be a confidant. It can just be somebody it can be a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be anybody that you need to help you along in that particular season of your life or whatever it is that you're doing, And then when you connect it and you have that energy that makes you go, hey, and it's with your mate. Oh my gosh.
Good God Almighty.
And that may not necessarily be your wife or your husband or your partner. I think a soulmate actually comes in many different forms. I think, like I said, it's that thing that gives you that energy and that spark, and that could come from something else, but it has to, and I don't know, there's just an alignment there.
Alignment. And we know it's real because you're just talking about your soulmate.
I was just talking about my soulmate.
The first word you picked up was soulmate.
Yeah.
Listen, there are several cards, names, terms in here. I'm just saying. If you don't believe it, you better catch it.
And if you don't believe it, just go do San Pedro ayahuasca. And
wait, you got to take that out.
Duh.
Oh, okay. Well, if you pick it up again, I got it.
Okay, my bad. All right, here we go.
He's digging. He's digging in there.
Here we go. What's next? Fashion.
No, we forgot this because you be on the gram stunting. Those shoes, like your shoe game is ridiculous.
Thank you. But
yes, fashion.
Yes, fashion is expression. That's what it is to me. It's another art form. It's wearable art, you know. Hey, the Met Gala was the other day, and one of my dreams and goals, and it will manifest, is to be at the Met Gala one day. But I have such a respect for the craftsmanship. I love all art, whether it's culinary, martial art, you know, visual art, acting, whatever, theater, dance, music. I really appreciate art. And fashion is just, it is expression all over your body. You get to really be whoever, you get to show up as whoever you really want.
Hello, somebody.
And when we talk about being authentic, there's fantasy. Let's not forget about, you can be authentic, but you can also live in fantasy. Like you can really go, and I've lived in some of the, like New York, I've lived in London and Paris. I've gone to Paris and Florence and Italy. Like, I'm telling you, fashion is the bee's knees. Like you can show up. There's like rock side to myself. There is, I mean, I've got all different types of sides to myself that you would never even know. And fashion helps me express all of that. So that's why I got a pretty expansive shoe game, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
all
that.
Right,
I love fashion.
All right.
What's next?
It's inspiration. One last to go. Why am I closing my eyes like I'm picking it out?
Here we go. Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh.
What is it?
Patience. Dang. This is a good one. This is what I needed. Damn. Darn. Sorry. Dawn. Everything is in alignment. It's incredible that I received this, because patience has always been, I'm ambitious and I want things when I want them, and I go after things, and we talk about being doers and dreamers and executors, you know, but what we don't often associate or talk about is the patience you have to have for it to cook and for it to manifest, for it may not show up the way that you envision it right when you want it, you know? And that's just kind of, that's the society we live in. We want instant gratification. I got this dream. I want it right now. And I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get it. And you'll get it, but it may not be in the time that you expect it to. And patience has always been a thing that is just, and I'm in a period right now where I've been so blessed to do the amazing work that I have been able to do. And I'm on the precipice of doing some new things and some new breakthroughs. And sometimes I can get frustrated because they are just not happening as quickly as I want them to, no matter how much work and patience, boy, it's like, it's happening. You just got to slow down. And nothing better than to have the pandemic, which, you know, as unfortunate as it has been, but you have that. And then you also have a daughter at the same time. And you talk about patience, like having patience with a 2-year-old right now is paramount. It is, woo, geez, Louise. But what I'm learning from it is, yes, I need the time to slow down and just be present. Patience, we should just say, is presence. That's what it is. It's just being present and being grateful in this particular moment and letting the thing cook, you know? You know, you put the thing in the oven, it's got to cook. You got to wait 45 minutes for it to be great.
You know, people look at that great big old oak tree.
Yeah.
How do you think that oak tree grew up? Hey, catch it. Let me rewind. That was one of the greatest things I got from Cass Tech. You heard about the wise old owl?
The what?
The wise, that was a slur for your nerve. The wise old owl that sat on the oak.
Enlightened.
The more he heard, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't I be like that wise old bird? I thought maybe that was only in that one class. I got that from CT. But anyway, patience. I received that. You know, on my vision board, I have one there. Take your time because I'm always moving so fast, going after the grind. Slow it down.
Yeah.
So that's the Vita Chest.
I mean, there's the Vita Chest.
You said it was in alignment with everything, like soulmate, fashion, patience,
all of it. I mean, one of the shows I'm producing right now is
one of the shows I'm producing right now.
It's all about fashion and connectivity. And
really?
Yeah. I mean, can I talk? I don't know. Can I talk about that?
I mean, you better talk about whatever because that's what I'm about to ask you.
Okay.
In fact, that's what's right on the card. What's next?
Here we go.
You looking at my card? It's like, no, go ahead. Tell me what this show.
Yeah. So I created a show called AMNTS, which is an acronym for A Mile in These Shoes. And so essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking my passion for shoes and using that as like, let's say Comedians in Cars meets Humans of New York. So we connect on the shoe tip, right? But then we go even further and do our soul, SOLE, explorations where we find out what it took for you to actually, what it's like to walk a mile in your shoes. What is that like, you know? And so we shot 7 episodes so far, and and it was over the span of, well, we had first responders, we've had entertainers, of course, we've had Native American activists, and there's all types of shoes. And I want to set the record straight. I'm not a sneakerhead. I got an awesome collection of sneakers, but
well, what do you call yourself? Because you got tons of shoes.
I got tons of shoes, but like boots and like my wingtips and like one of my favorite pair of shoes. And one of the episodes we highlight. I got this pair of shoes in Florence, an Italian pair of blue monk straps, and they were from Stefano Bramere, which is the place where Daniel Day-Lewis learned how to cobble. And so,
who's that?
Okay, so Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the greatest actors of our time.
Okay.
Did you see Lincoln? He played Lincoln. Okay.
Don't do it. Let's just stop.
My Left Foot. Okay. All right. So
major moment.
Yeah. So it was like Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those actors who like he takes the role on and learns every single thing. And there was a period where he wanted to learn how to cobble, you know, and this was the store that he learned where he had his apprenticeship. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, the alignment there, you know,
wow.
And so I love the story of shoes and I love people. I just really love what it takes to walk a mile in people's shoes, right? And because not everybody has the same story. And like 2 of the people, and I started it just in my own friend circle, 2 of the people have names that I didn't even know weren't their actual birth names. You know, and you're like, and so that's what the whole point of the show is about, is connecting. And so ultimately it's a travel show. So we'll travel all over the world and we'll learn about different people and their experiences. You know, just walking in shoes. So that's
called
that.
What again?
AMNTS, A Mile in These Shoes.
A Mile in These Shoes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now and put it out there. If you want to turn this into a podcast, holla at your girl. We can talk.
How you know that
I'm just saying it's down with the inspiration.
That's part of the plan.
All right, because the vision is there. But it's so interesting. Just to piggyback off, when we talk about alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Down to Miss Mac and the voicemail messages talking about the whole acting. Even me just saying, brother, last time I saw you probably was about 5-6 years ago.
Probably.
And I think I saw you guys, you and your wife had a pop-up with a photo taking your portraits. It was an endeavor. It doesn't matter. Years ago, then we pop up again, but I'm just saying, how out of everything I mentioned, I didn't just say fashion, I said shoes.
Yeah.
I didn't say shirts, I didn't say pants, I said shoes.
Yeah.
Fashion comes up. Then a mile in those shoes.
In these shoes. A mile in these shoes.
What in the alignment is going on?
Yeah, man. This is a great space. The energy that you set. This.
I receive it because I decided to show up, but you did too. That's why we're here.
Yeah, man.
So I was just on social media. Did you You disappeared?
No.
Jeremiah, we like what?
So currently I am being hacked. Someone hacked into my Facebook account and my whole Facebook account is deleted.
Wait.
And I guess it happened while I was sleeping And so I missed the opportunity to put like the code in. So when I woke up, you know, and then like they text you all these authentication codes, I missed that window, and my whole Facebook account is shut down. And now there's something going on with the Instagram as well.
They're connected.
Because they're connected. And so I know I knew I was coming on here today. I'm like freaking out, like, what? I'm like, it's out of my control. What do you want me to do? Like, what am I going to do? Like, there's way more crazier problems happening in the world. So.
You think you're going to get it back? You should. Yeah, you should.
I mean, I should.
What's supposed to happen?
Look.
So if you could give a shout out, what was the social media for people to check out?
It was at Call Me J Mallory. Call me J
all
Mallory.
of that. Yeah.
All of that, man.
And you got some websites you want to plug?
Yes, I generally just want to plug my company's website, Moonchild Creative. As Dawn said, we're a production company. My wife and I production company here in LA, where our whole goal and mission is to just tell a new narrative, specifically with BIPOC, with Black people of color, Indigenous people of color, like changing the narrative. Even if we're going to reach in the past, what are some new explorations that we can see? I'm always watching TV like, oh, it's 5 shows on with Black people and 4 of them got drugs and then this, or trauma. And you don't realize how much trauma we as Black people have to go through, Black actors have to go through in retelling these stories, and so I'm like, we're so much more diverse than that.
Yes, we are.
So much more, and shout out to each of those stories because they are needed. There's a purpose. But when most of them are all the same, ranging from the 60s, I was like, you got Godfather Harlem, which I love. You've got BMF about to come out, Detroit, even Snowfall. You got all of 50s, Raising Kanan and Power series. And I'm like, anytime you see Black people in media or young Black men specifically in media, it's got something to do with drugs or incarceration, or you got the Underground Railroad, you got underground, and you got, just traumatic situations. Where's the lightness? Where is that? And yes, you have beautiful comedies and you've got Ava doing amazing things with Queen Sugar. So I want to give respect to everyone. And these are necessary stories, but I think there's still opportunity for diverse storytelling of who we are across the board. And so that's the kind of material that we are creating at Moonchild. So Moonchild Creative, CREATV.com.
Okay. And you better plug your personal website.
And 𝘲�ＭalloryMcCree.com.
And because I'm feeling like I got love all over me, I actually got it on me. Tell me what I'm wearing.
So you are wearing a brand called Detroit Kids. It's by 2 of my cast tech homies, Isaiah Tate and Cat Peoples. They created this brand because, like, when you hit me up and asked me to be on here, you was like, yo, we just some Detroit kids who out here in LA and Hollywood doing the thing. And I was like, well, let me tell you about this brand called Detroit Kids. And so I'm supporting my people and bringing it back, man. So here we go.
I show up for my city.
Hey.
Anything else that I could have missed that you want the people to know?
Man, it's just amazing work going on out here. I'm happy. And there's something major, and I'll tell you after this, that's happening. I'm about to add another title to father, husband, actor, producer. Like, there's another nice title about to happen as soon as I get home. So, just life is good. Have patience. Seek help. Seek therapy. Healthy therapy. And I love Donda. I don't know. I don't know who's look. I'm just gonna say on the record here, iHeartMedia, I love Donda. I know all the critics have, but it was a really spiritual experience. It for me, it was. I have a strong connection to Kanye overall, but like even with the craziness, the music, he still continues to elevate and push the bounds of music, the
messaging
and composition.
The production of it.
Yeah. I mean, look, in an ideal world, Drake would write lyrics and Kanye would produce, and then there would be a nice little mashup there, as Charlemagne the God said, right? But I still think that if you think about Beethoven or if you think about Chopin, like lyrics are one thing, and most times you got a lot of ghostwriters and stuff like that. But what I was in tune with in this particular album was just the composition and the advancement in music. He's taking these sonic sounds and hip hop beats and combining them with gospel. And I was having like, oh, geez. And I'm like, I listen to the album all the time. Like, listen to it on the way here.
Calvin and I were in the car. I didn't realize that it was up yet. And I think I got to like 3 tracks. I haven't, that's why I can't even give you what I need to give.
I just wanted to like, I just, yeah.
You said what you had to say for the people.
I had to say what I had to say for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Mallory McCree said, check it out. So I might want to check it out. But I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for listening. And I hope you got some good stuff. But more importantly, overall, everything that you understand the importance of being authentic and showing up as yourself. Understanding that your gift is in you, and all it requires is you to perform, because faith without works is dead. And the best way to perform is to be who you are. And that's what Jamal was talking about. That's what Jay Mallory was talking about. And, it's a sense of also understanding, even as we got to the Vita Chest, and understanding your soulmate, because this whole conversation was about connection to your dreams, connection to the fight for your dreams. We even had to understand the connection with yourself and how important therapy is. That's what getting to the soul and the heart of the matter. And see, even when you talk about mate puts that connection onto it, right? Because you can't just mate with yourself. You need something or someone else to join forces. And understanding how you're joining forces to yourself joins forces with your dreams, joins forces with your further relationships, but then also joins forces of you living your best life. And the thing I love about it is, even when Jamal was talking about his whole love and passion for fashion, ain't nothing but a little flavor. It's a way that you express yourself. It's a way that you introduce yourself to the world before opening your mouth. And the thing is that you can be as creative as you want. You can choose to live your best life how you would like to live your best life. And understanding when you step up in your fashion that it may not look like anyone else's story. And that's why it's pretty dope that he's coming out with this whole show, A Mile in These Shoes. Because when was the last time you asked somebody how they got there in their shoes? Not from your perspective, but from theirs. And understanding that there's something that you can learn from it. But the key, I think, of all that I got, and I hope that you receive, along with being authentic, is understanding patience. Because I think we can give ourselves a little bit more patience with ourselves, right? We can all be a little bit more patient. Understanding that the grace is needed. Understanding that we may want things right now, but there's no better time than the right time. Because if you get it too fast, you're going to lose it. It's like taking some food out the oven without a mitt on. It's too hot. You're going to burn. You're going to miss the flavor. If you try to take it out before it's done, it's going to make you sick. So be on time. And the best way to be on time is to just show up and be in the now. Michael Jackson said it best. This is it. Here I stand. Mm-hmm. Where do you stand in your life? What do you want for your life? This brother just told you what he was able to do. Now, on the break, we were just talking about how we both had lost our mothers. I always tell the story how I lost my mother when I was 25. He lost his mother his senior year of college. I look at the fact that I was 25, 5 more years of communication with my mother. And that's a whole, when I look at 25-year-old Dawn, I look at 20, 21-year-old Dawn, that's a different woman. That's a different young lady. And you realize that in life, you can't control the cards that you're dealt, but you can dictate how you're going to play your hand. So what's your next move? What is your next move for your best life? Huh? What you gonna do? Because what do you want? And like I said, Eric Thomas, who's also from Detroit, you gotta want your dreams as bad as you wanna breathe. You gotta want your best life as bad as you wanna breathe. You gotta make a choice for your life while you still can breathe. Catch it. Now listen here. You know some folks that could possibly be on the show to tell their story? I want you to encourage them and tell them to email me, VitaminD, at DawnDaiSpeaks.com. Also, if you know somebody that might need some advice on their life, relationships, love, career, dreams, I don't know, somebody getting on your nerves, email me, VitaminD at DawnDaiSpeaks.com. Now, I tell people all the time, when you do email, understand that you can keep it real. Because when we talk about vitamin D, we're shedding the light on the good and the bad. Okay? Or the good and not so good. I'm going to keep it real because if you want to be better and you want to do better, you have to be able to see better. Okay? And also, you know we're on YouTube, right? Check it out at Dawn Dai Speaks. And while you're checking that out, if you enjoyed it, please tell somebody else to check out the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast, available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, wherever, however, whenever, whatever's clever. And then also, I want to encourage you. In the meantime, if you're not on YouTube, if you're not following me on all the several TV shows, just follow me on social media at Dawn Dai Speaks, okay? You can even DM me if you have a quick question or you need some quick advice. I'm here for you and I got you, okay? I appreciate you. You know I'm in the business of making dreams come true, and I damn sure ain't gonna forget about mine. So until next time, always remember, you are your greatest asset.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about